What's going on, guys? Dan back again. Slowly making some progress on the Mustang for the Godzilla swap. A couple small things. I want to make sure I get all the suspension and steering and stuff right before I really move on to the engine. So let's kind of show what I'm working with here. All right, so I put a bump steer kit on it. I just got it in for now. Once I set the ride height and stuff, I'll make sure that the steering rack, the tie rod ends are kind of in line with the A-arm. But for now, they're all set up. And then for the steering, I went ahead and got a steering shaft because I don't like the rag joint. And then I know this is gonna kind of have to come apart, and I believe this shaft will have to go through the header. So one, eliminating the rag joint, I just hate those. That's very sloppy with the steering, plus I just don't trust them. But then two, this will help us when I go to actually get the engine in, and then like I said, this shaft will have to go through the header. If it's too short or whatever, these double D shafts are pretty cheap. You can buy like a pretty long one for like 15 bucks. So this is not cheap in itself. This was like 200 bucks, maybe even more, I don't remember. But I'm gonna go ahead and I will get the interior back in the car because I just hate seeing it kind of torn apart. I want to get that all back together so I can kind of leave it, and then I'll get the steering shaft in so I can kind of roll the car out and kind of clean up the garage. The garage is just a total disaster. So the shaft is a little bit short, and I know I can pull the steering column, the inner shaft out a little bit, but honestly I'm going to leave it in a little further because it's just going to give me some more room. So I ordered a double D shaft, 3/4 inch from Amazon for like 15 bucks. That's like 20 some odd inches. Granted, I think I only need about 8 inches. But for now, I'll just kind of leave it like that just so I can like push the car around it. I'm not in any rush with it anyway, but I'm almost positive it's because with the Team Z K member, the manual steering rack shaft, I believe, is a little bit longer, but I mean, not a huge deal. I wish these things weren't so expensive, but I'm almost pretty positive it's probably just because of the steering shaft end over there. But anyway, that's not a huge deal. I was expecting that anyway. For now, just getting the interior back in the car. So I've got the steering column in for now. I want to vacuum this up, get the dash kind of put back together. I'll probably just leave the seat out for now just so I can, do some of the wiring and whatnot. But yeah, just kind of slowly staying busy. Got some riveting content for you guys, I know. I've got a tank full of E85 and I got to get it out. I'm pretty sure this wire runs through the cab of the car. I think it's for the fuel pump. So I kind of rigged up a ground wire to the chassis because my assumption is it is grounded to the chassis somehow, and then a little relay so I can hopefully kick this pump on and drain all the fuel out. So let's see if it works. Moment of truth. I think that red wire went to some sort of key on power. So I went directly to the pump. Let's see if that works. So here's what I ended up doing. I went and found the power wire that goes to the fuel pump, which was this one. And then the ground wire that I pulled off. Luckily, he had them already, a couple quick connectors on them. And then I just wired up a relay and then ground activated this switch right here and hooked it up to the battery, and I was able to hotwire the fuel pump to get the E85 out of the tank. All right, so I'll explain why under the hood, the red wire that I assume went to the fuel pump, which it technically does, didn't work when I powered it up. So that red wire comes back through here. It's this wire here. It's running to this relay, right? So basically power's coming into this relay from that red wire, and then when this relay is activated, it puts it through this one, which this is the wire that goes down to the fuel pump. But the reason why it didn't work is because this circuit has to close, and this pink wire is the wire that comes from the relay for the fuel pump, which is under the seat. So that would have had to get key on power to then complete this circuit to allow my 12 volts that came through here to go here. And what I ended up doing was just going underneath the car and just jumping essentially the other side of this wire and bypassing this altogether. So essentially they got a relay, activating a relay to turn the pump on. And I'm gonna need to defeat this or disassemble it really, because with the Holley Terminator X that I'll be using, that has its own fuel pump relay. And so if I just wired that in, I'd essentially have a relay activating a relay, activating a relay, which, I mean, technically it would work, but I don't think all that's needed. So I'll probably just do away with this, run its own wire. All right, so those have been around for a little while. They know that I'm a Holley EFI guy. So I'm currently putting in the Holley harness for the, I got the Terminator X Max for this car. The reason I need to get the Max is because the X Max runs the drive-by-wire throttle body, which the Godzilla has. So when I get it, you know, that is why I have to get the Max. It'll still be the manual. I'm still using the TKX, but yeah, like I said, the drive-by-wire needs the X Max. So let me show you where I'm at with that right now. So inside the car, everything's pretty much the same. There's a few differences. This one has a, this is like a relay and fuse panel box. And then, so I'll have to mount this somewhere, probably really just mount it up in here somewhere. And then I got the input outputs, and then this is the power tap, but I have this will run to the alternator because it needs a 12 volt source to, you know, run the alternator. So this is, I gotta pull that through. All right, so these are the input outputs. Those are all fed through. This is all fed through the firewall. And then this hose or this wire loom right here, this will go to the brake 12 volt source from the brake light switch. This is for the drive-by wire. One goes to the pedal, one goes to the throttle body. This goes to the brake light switch, and then these are the other connectors and stuff. What I like is this one has two CAN bus connectors. So instead of buying the splitter, you got two of them here, which is nice because I can go the USB dongle to one and then the 3.5 inch to the other. So I'll run that underneath here and then mount it under the passenger seat like most of them, you know, get done on this car. Outside of that, I got the rest of the wiring run through the firewall. I'll need to run a vacuum tube through. What I'll do is get a vacuum block and probably mount it somewhere up here on the firewall, and then go from there in through to, that'll go to the map sensor. And then yeah, all the rest of the wiring is, it's just kind of here for now, but it's all run through. And then I'll kind of, as I get the engine and then start, you know, hooking stuff up, I'll figure out what goes where and kind of formulate my plan as far as wiring, because I want it to be, you know, somewhat presentable. Here's the other end of that alternator wire from the power tap. And then the rest of the wiring I still got to kind of figure out. I started test fitting the Hydro Boost lines, but again, I'll have to kind of wait and see when I get the engine and stuff and all the accessories on how it's going to run. I know that the kit has certain hoses that go in certain spots. I've kind of just got them put on for now just to have them on and, you know, test fit and everything. But with the Holley kit, you'll need like a 12 volt switched source and stuff to key it on. And luckily we've still got, you know, like the ignition wire and stuff from the old setup. So I could just tap into, you know, some existing stuff to get all that. What I may actually even do is kind of like I did, if you remember the, if anyone remembers the Trans Am that I did, I basically took a 12 volt switched wire, ran it to a relay, and then from the relay went to a fuse box, and then I had a bunch of multiple 12 volt switch sources. Like I said, here's all the input outputs. Usually I leave these in the car and then run wires in, but really, well, all I'm gonna need for these is my electric fans and then the air conditioning stuff. So I've got all of them ran out underneath here for now. And I'll see if, you know, if I'm gonna run them across the firewall or what. But I've got all these out here, and then again, all of these are all the
the loose wires from the Terminator X. You got your, tachometer and chassis ground, and I believe this 12 volt, I think this powers the either the fuse panel or relay, one of the relays, fuel pump relay. This is for the fuel pump, the trigger wire, and then this is the key 12 volt that turns the system on. So I ran it, they got a ton of wire. I mean, this wire is super long, but I've got all this out here under the hood, because then I can, like I said, kind of formulate my plan and have more options. And if I do need to like have one in the cab, I could just yank it back through a single wire. But pretty excited about this. I think this should clean up real nicely. I actually just realized I messed up. I had this on this side of the proportioning valve, so I didn't want to take these lines off because they were a pain to get on. So I took the bottom off, but then I unbolted the master cylinder and kind of slid it off, put the harness back, and then put these back on. Luckily, I didn't yank these down tight. I just kind of had them snug, so no harm, no foul there. But that is ran on the inside like it's supposed to now. This is, like I said, that fuel pump line. This is gonna go away. Pretty easy install, honestly. I remembered putting the Terminator X in an older Foxbody of mine, the turbo one that you guys I'm sure remember. Those have been around. I remember it being a pain, but it's because on that one, I went from the firewall into the car, and from this one, I went from the inside of the car up out. I basically fed a 6-gauge wire through and then pulled it through. And yeah, I mean, what I thought was gonna take like an hour, I was done in like 10 minutes. I did kind of start dissecting the old air conditioning harness and stuff, but then I found they have a Fathead Garage has one that's made specifically for the Holley, and then also I can get it custom built to have the SD7 compressor that I have for this car. So I'm gonna end up going with that. It's a little pricey, it's like $250, but I'd rather do that and have it cleaner than me having to dig some wires apart. I know I get a lot of people asking me, like, or not asking, they're like, hey man, don't cut this one up, or you could have done this or that, or I could have done some small block Ford that made 400 or 500 horsepower and been done already, but this is kind of what I enjoy, is tearing this stuff apart and putting stuff in the car that doesn't belong there. So those that think that I could have just threw some 347 in and made the same power as a Godzilla, yeah, you're right, if you just threw a base, stock Godzilla in it. But I do have a couple parts. I have the Truck Norris camshaft, which this cam specifically, you can run with the OEM springs in the Godzilla, and this will make around 600-ish paired with the Holley intake. It should make 610, 20, 30-ish maybe. But this intake is freaking massive. I've never seen a 7.3 Godzilla in person, and this camera does not do it justice. For those who haven't seen, like me, right, the size difference between a Godzilla and then like the old 302, I put the intake manifold on top of the old engine just to kind of show you the size difference. Because yeah, I didn't realize how big this engine's actually gonna be. So here's the intake, and it is literally about the size of the whole engine, the whole 302. It's freaking massive. You figure from here to here, it's the width of the whole engine. The cool thing about this intake too is you can bolt the throttle body off this 302 one. You could bolt it onto there, and I mean, it'll fit. And then just to kind of prove that, there you go. Well, there, let me get it even so you can see. Oh, it is even. The bag's just messed up. There you go. So you can bolt this throttle body from your, if you have like an 80 millimeter or something, I'm not going to use this one on it, but if you wanted to do cable you could use this with the Holley intake for the Godzilla. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm at with the car right now. Nothing, you know, too exciting at this moment, but we're getting there. You know, this is a, you know, project in itself, so it's going to take me a little bit. I still need to get an engine for it. Kind of in between finding a used one and then we're just getting a new one, and that may take a while also, so we'll see. Anyway, guys, appreciate you all watching. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.